first, and there's where you lost most of your men. You had to go, you're laying on the beach, those mortars are flying like Sal said, and overhead you could actually see like ash cans, a half a Volkswagen flying. And when that landed, anything in 10 yards was dead, believe me. Well, we finally managed to get through that field, and I say this, I landed with 259 men. We left the island with 29. And my job was to, well, they called me and check out the left flank, what's going on. I'd run over, check it out, come back, take these men and put them in the line. Well, our Company E left with no one. They were all dead or wounded. That's how bad it is. We all know we went through hell, but Ewo was hell. And I was there 26 days, didn't get a scratch. Saw both flags go up, and when it was over, I'll tell you, I was fortunate in one sense. I managed to, you think of this, 22,000 men underground. You can't see them except at night when they came out. And Sal mentioned the amphitheater. Well, the amphitheater had a couple other names too. And Hill 382 was where the real battle was finished. Regardless, we were all proud of being on Ewo, but the 382 was almost the same size and height as Savachi. That side of the island was ash. This side of the island, believe it or not, was solid rock. And they went down 3 and 4 levels. I managed to get down in there before we left the island. It was just like this. They had plastered walls. They had a hospital there that had 400 beds in it. It was quite an experience. But anyway, I lucked out. Right back to Pearl Harbor, and they assigned me to, well, Clifton Gates. I'll tell you a quick story. Clifton Gates became Commandant of the Marine Corps. He was our general. I'm sitting in Tinian in my foxhole, and the Japs are dropping mortars on me. And a Jeep pulls up behind me. And he said, "Hey, Marine, how you doing?" "It's fine, General." He said, "You have room in your foxhole for a friend?" I said, "Sure, sit down." And we're sitting there, and I said, "Do you like your Jeep?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Notice over there, 50 yards?" "I'll be damned." He turned around, he looked at the driver and said, "What the hell's the matter with you? Get that thing out of here." They were supposed to be in reserve. Shell on that Jeep. Well, anyway, he said to me, "We're gonna witness something new. It's called the napalm bomb." And I said, "What's a napalm bomb?" He says, "It's the first time it's gonna be ever seen." And he gave me a lesson, what consisted of the napalm bomb, how it was made, and what it did. And sure enough, you read his autobiography, and he says, "Those Corsairs came over 200 feet, and I blanked in my pants." He was that, it was that bad. But that was an interesting story there. Anyway, I was transferred to Pearl Harbor in charge of the Pearl City. Called us all together and said, "You fellas from the Regimental Marines are never going to see battle again." So he sent us back to Pearl Harbor, and I drew Pearl City. That's where all the aircraft carriers docked. Well, there are 5 gates I was in charge of, sergeant of the guard, and aircraft carriers came, they had all ammunition and food, stuff like that. And then they had, I think there were 8 or 9 warehouses, and they were manned by all the waves. So my job was also to guard over 300 waves. And that was quite a job, because all the Navy guys were looking for the waves. But I always enjoyed that. I weighed 120 pounds. I'll rehash this. On the way to Ewo,
I can play football 120 pounds.
I weighed 100. I went in at 180. I was down 180. I spent all my time eating candy bars, the chocolate K ration, and I couldn't carry anything. You couldn't carry C ration because they'd hear the noise. But anyway, my Uncle Ed, God bless him, was in World War I. He was a destroyer, on a destroyer. Now his son's in the Navy. Here's World War II. He was down enlisted in the Navy. My aunt gave him holy hell. The old fart, she called him. Anyway, they did, of course they turned him down. So he ended up joining the Seabees at his age. So I heard he was on Saipan. Well, on the way to Saipan, now in the meantime, I had been given a promotion of sorts. After Tinian, they made me recreation officer, and I was in charge of all the mail. And we're standing on the side of the ship, look in the saipan. My mother written me, said my uncle was there. But Paul Divico, I remember him, he was from Cumberland, Maryland. He was in charge of the battalion mail. He's going by with me with 2 sacks. And I said, where you going, Paul? He said, they're not letting anybody off any ships. I got the mail, orders to take it ashore and pick up mail that's there waiting for us. I said, geez, it's too damn bad, they're so heavy. So I picked the bag up, threw it on my shoulder, and joined it. We went in. Got to the post office. I asked the postmaster, you know what, Ed Miller? Yeah. He's down the road about 1.25 miles that way. And I said, well, he's my uncle. He said, here's my keys, take my Jeep. So it does show up. It's had about 15 minutes when we came back. But he was the only one I ever saw. I never got a lead, and the only person I ever saw while I was in the Ranger. But that's my story anyway.